Hey guys, this is Coconut. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Today we're talking about curses that exist in the music business. First up is the 27th Club. This is the notion that very famous musicians and all of them may have just been getting started, hadn't even really hit the height of their fame and popularity, but they were well on their way, okay? They were talented beyond belief, and something happens where they die tragically by the age of 27. And it's always under mysterious circumstances, like Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Kurt Cobain. So look that up. It's a very fascinating read, and you will definitely be going down the rabbit hole with that one. For example, they really don't know how Jim Morrison died. Okay, a lot of the times they're telling us that this was, like drug related, but there's always this underbelly sort of seedy backstory, as if drugs isn't bad enough. There's always something else that's going on in the background. So let me know what y'all think about that theory. The 27th Club is something to do with talented musicians who are mysteriously killed or murdered, or like Kurt Cobain, they say he committed suicide at the height of his popularities. I don't know, y'all. Let me know what you think, though. Fleetwood Mac is one of the best all-selling bands of all time, okay? And if you're too young to know this band, but you're into great feel-good music that has a little bit of a haunting, melancholy spirit to it in some regard, this is the band for you. Now, what makes this band so curious with its curses is that it seemed like they had two separate curses. First, there was a curse on the guitarist, because one of the guitarists was also a founder of the original group, Peter Green. He tripped so bad on acid, he tried to convince all of them to give their money away. And then he was later admitted to a psychiatric ward where he was being treated with shock therapy for schizophrenia. Isn't that crazy? And then they had a next guitarist, and he actually left to go to the store and joined a sex cult. And there's so many other guitarists that they had that were involved in lots of scandals and suicide. It is really mind-boggling. Okay, so Fleetwood Mac had also within the group married couples who eventually split up. Some of them may have gotten back together, but they started sleeping with each other. Can you believe it? Can you imagine? They were saying like how it got so tough for them when all of these affairs start coming out. It was nearly impossible for them to record together. But at the same time, they all believed so strongly in their music, nobody wanted to quit the band. So they elected to play together and record together, even under duress, okay? They were hating each other, couldn't even look at each other in some cases. They would just talk about the music, and that was it, just to get the music out. But they could not interact in a normal way with each other. And they even kicked out one of the fundamental members of the group, Lindsay. Now, Stevie Nicks is my girl. That's the white witch and all. But, y'all, she was one of the main ones sleeping around with her band members. And Fleetwood did the same thing. And then I think later, maybe Christine did it as well. So there was just a lot of mishap and mayhem in this circle. So they said that this band is cursed because they were just embroiled in so much tragedy and heartbreak and disrepair. It is rumored that Fleetwood himself actually spent millions of dollars, it's a rumor, on coke. Him and Stevie Nicks were both coked out for years and just blew. In fact, there was this rumor that Stevie Nicks' nose was so coked out and burnt out that she used to have someone blow coke up her bum. I know, crazy, right? But yeah, this was like one of the original bad boy groups of all time. The music is phenomenal to me, But whoo, child, there was so much to this story, I couldn't even put it all in this video because I would be talking here for longer than the 10 minutes that I've allowed it. Of 27, the next story I'm going to talk about is the legend, the blues legend, Mr. Robert Johnson, who, the story goes, says he met the devil at the crossroads, okay? And the devil said, give me that guitar, okay? And in exchange for your soul, I'm going to enchant the guitar and give you mind-blowing playing abilities, and you're going to get fame and fortune. And the legend states that Mr. Johnson agreed, and when the devil gave him back the guitar, he all of a sudden did have some very fantastical playing prowess. And I think I read in his biography that he didn't even always play as good as he did. It's just sort of kind of like one day it started coming to him. So I don't know if, down in the South, they just made this legend because, down there, honey, that's where we got that hoodoo and stuff. So we knew them kind of stories, So he started to skyrocket for his playing style, but he died at the age 27 tragically. Now, some of the backstory is he was flirting with somebody's wife, or sleeping with somebody's wife, I should say. And the husband found out, and the husband secretly poisoned him. Okay? So that's a little bit of the backstory. On the death certificate, they're saying he died from syphilis. Some people say the devil just came to claim his due. Okay, because he did talk about the devil in his music. I don't know, y'all. What y'all think? But they say that there's a certain crossroads that you can go to in the middle of the night, meet the devil, and he's going to give you your soul desire in exchange for your soul. Seriously, you guys, I don't know how I never knew about this curse. I feel so, out of it. I really do. Bone ThugsNHarmony, okay? Thuggish, ruggish bone. I had no idea that there was a Ouija curse associated with this group. Crazy, right? So we all was in love with this group because their rap style was so different from anything we had heard at the time. And then they had that beautiful, haunting singing associated with it. It just blew us all away. But the legend goes, y'all, they were brought out by Eazy-E, and we all know he died supposedly of AIDS, depending on what conspiracy you believe or not, rest his soul. But they were his proteges, and they were saying that this group had a fascination with Ouija boards, and that they actually contacted a spirit within the Ouija board, and the spirit granted them fame and fortune, okay? But as we know, always, the byproduct of any contracts that you make, any deals that you make with the devil always gets his due. And I have read a lot of books about contracts with the devil, and it's always interesting to me that the language is always used. The language that the devil uses is always conflicting, okay? Meaning it can be construed or misconstrued, okay? It is always double-minded, and that it is quite deceptive. I'm not saying that the devil is real. I'm just talking about contracts, okay? And if you don't understand legalese, you can find yourself in trouble. And apparently that is what has happened to this group. And that is why they have experienced all of the tragedy that befell the group and anyone associated with the group. So y'all let me know what you think. Had you ever heard of that Ouija board curse before? Let me know. They are saying the way the curse played out is that anyone associated with them on this particular album ended up dead. Tupac, Biggie, Eazy-E, and Tasha. And there could be some more I just don't know about. But they were saying that when they first came out, because they were young, like teenagers playing with the Ouija board. So when they first came came out, their style was very dark, and that some people say on one of their tracks you can hear them actually talking about the devil, or maybe even chanting or something like that. And they were saying, I don't know if it's true, that Eazy-E also was into satanic worship of some sort, and that afterwards, when people started dying, is when they changed their style and seemed to have a more positive and lighthearted effect towards rap. Ooh, child, did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? I certainly did not. Fact, my biggest mystery about this group was always, who is actually in the group? Was it 4 members or 5 members? And what happened to the 5th member? Because at one point there was 5 men, okay? 2 of them was light skinned. That's all I really remember, with a lot of hair. I was so confused back then. Next up is a very tragic story about the 80s group High Five. They were very popular. And it seems like the lead singer, Tony Thompson, died under mysterious circumstances. They say they actually found him outside his apartment complex next to the air conditioning unit, overdosed on Freon from the air conditioner. That just sounds so bizarre to me. I didn't look further into this, but I bet there's a backstory to that. And then this is the reason why I even did this video, is because they had a group member, I think his name was Russell Neal, who killed his wife. Yeah, so he met this beautiful up-and-coming star. He wooed her, pretending he had money and everything. Turns out he didn't have any money. She had to fund the family. You know, tensions arose as it always will when the woman is the breadwinner. I'm going to just say that. That's a curse in itself. And you can agree or disagree, so I don't care. But anyway, he ended up killing his beautiful wife. Very tragic. And he is, I think, either locked up or in a psych ward. I can't really remember. So the group High Five, they say they have a curse associated with them. And I'm ending this video with the Puffy curse. Yes, bad boy. Man, even Danity Kane keep telling y'all that this man is cursed because all of his artists end up dead, locked up, or poor. Okay, let's talk about the shootout that he was in the club when. I think this is when Jennifer left him, and his rapper Shine took all the heat for that and was locked up. If he's not, I think he may have gotten out recently, I can't remember, but Shine took the heat for him, and basically Puffy, according to all sources, allegedly never supported his artists, never gave him money or anything the whole entire time he was locked up. Okay, of course, we know that Biggie was his star and supposed best friend. He's capitalized greatly off of his death, but Biggie did die tragically. He was assassinated, murdered, with many witnesses, and no one has really come forth. There's a lot of conspiracies about that, but no one has really come forth to take the blame for that, really. And then there was a charity event where they were playing ball and music was associated with the charity event, and 9 people were crushed to death in a stampede. Apparently people had paid like $20 to get into this event, and there wasn't proper protocol set up to make sure that, you know, people came in an orderly fashion, and 9 people died, y'all. They say that when Puffy loses an artist that's making him money, he goes out and finds a clone, okay? And so they said that happened with Mace, actually. When Mace came on the scene, he had that little singing little lilt thing that he did with his voice. He was very popular, and it didn't take him long to get away from Puffy. And the man wasn't very much older than 19 or 20 when he ran from New York and went down to Georgia and became a minister. And that also happened with one of his other artists. I think it was Loon, who actually left and became a Muslim, okay? They're saying that the Locks don't have nothing good to say about this man, as well as I can say many other events that has transpired to some other of his artists, like Craig Mack, for example. I mean, the list is endless, y'all. For real, I would be here all night if I wanted to really dig into all of the artists that this man has messed over. So at some point, Puffy, decided that he was going to retire, and we all can say thank God for that. Well, that's my time for today. Until next time, I'm Sheen Brezzy.